birthright and I shall have it. Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. Okay, so even in Hindi, if we just call it, so it was known as Swaraj मेरा जन्म सिद्ध अधिकार है और मैं इसे पाके रहूंगा. Okay, so Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. So Swaraj can also be known as self-government. Okay, it can also be known as home rule. Okay, so even if the UPSC interchanges the statement and asks you, just go with the flow. Okay, just understand the essence of the statement. So he had given this particular statement, and here it was self-government without overthrowing the British rule. And in order to attain the self-government, they were to adopt constitutional mechanisms. Now, we in the previous sessions we have understood that Bal Gangadhar Tilak, he was an extremist person. Okay, but now what he is going to do is that when the home rule movement was started, okay, so Annie Besant, he had sided with Annie Besant in order to start the home rule movement. So Annie Besant, she was a constitutional woman. Okay, she did not want to include extra constitutional methods in order to adopt or in order to fulfill her activities. Okay, she was a constitutional woman, and at that point of time Bal Gangadhar Tilak, okay, he is also going to majorly adopt to the constitutional mechanisms rather than promoting extreme extra constitutional ways in order to achieve the objectives of home rule. Why? Because Annie Besant, if and when there was extra constitutional things, she would directly have taken the U-turn from there. Okay, so that was the idea. So here the aim was Swarajya. Moreover, he had the aim of formation of linguistic states, and also he wanted the education to be in vernacular. So the formation of linguistic states, that means that if there was Gujarati, so Gujarati for Gujarat, Marathi for Maharashtra. So that was the idea. And also he wanted the education to be in vernacular at that point of time. Okay, so these were the aims of the Bal Gangadhar Tilak's branch. Whereas now when we talk about Annie Besant, okay, so she is also going to be having this particular branch. Okay, she is also going to be having this particular branch, and her branch is going to set up in the time period of September 1916. So approximately 4 months, okay, approximately 4 months after it, okay, approximately 4 months after the particular setting up of Bal Gangadhar Tilak's branch, there is going to be him, okay, there is going to be the Annie Besant's branch that is going to be set up. Okay, so that was the scenario. Now, what was the features of her branch? So the headquarters, it is going to be in Adyar, Madras, and she is going to have her branches, nearly 200 branches in the rest of India, and she also had a branch in the Bombay city. She is also going to have a branch in the Bombay city. Now the question is that who of the major nationalists are going to support at that point of time? So the major nationalists, they are generally going to support whom? They are going to support the particular person of Annie Besant. Okay, so they are going to support Annie Besant to the majority. Why? Because at that point of time, many of the nationalistic leaders, okay, they were supportive of Annie Besant. Why? Because Annie Besant, she was kind of a moderate also, okay, and she had a different way of thinking. However, the people, they were majorly supporting whom? Bal Gangadhar Tilak. So Bal Gangadhar Tilak had a very huge fan following, okay, more, even if we compare it, so even more than Annie Besant he had. And her demand was also of self-government, and that is the reason she had started the home rule movement. Okay, and we very well are aware about the self-government, that what is going to be self-government now. Later on, the two home rule leagues, they worked in cooperation. So this was a statement that was asked by the UPSC in the prelims question. Okay, in the prelims. So the two home rule leagues, they worked in cooperation and carried out intense propaganda all over the country in favor of the demand for grant of home rule or self-government in India after the war. So keep this statement in mind, after the war. Okay, it was not at that point of time only, but they are talking after the war. Okay, so that means from the year of 1914 till 1918 there was the World War I that was happening. So when these people had told that they wanted it after the war, so from this only we can understand that they were not that extreme in character, because if they were extreme in character, they would have told the British, you be fighting the World War I for how much ever long you want, but we want our self government right now and right here. Okay, so but they did not demand that. Moreover, what at this point of time Tilak is going to say is that home rule is my birthright and I shall have it. I have already mentioned it to you. So the two leagues, they made rapid progress, and the cry of home rule resounded through the length and breadth of India. Many moderates who were dissatisfied with the Congress inactivity joined the home rule agitation. Okay, why? Because here, just understand, in the April and in the September, the home rule was started, and the Lucknow session, okay, the Lucknow session that we spoke of the in the previous class, it happened in the December 1916. So up till December 1916, okay, up till the Lucknow Pact was not conducted, was not happening, up till then the Congress was divided. The extremists, they were not a part of the Congress, and that is why there was no political activity that was there. So the people, the normal people, the political people, all of the people, they were waiting for a political activity to happen. So prior to the extremists being inducted in the Congress, when there was a chance of a political activity and it was started by the means of home rule movement, so people increasingly participated in the home rule movement, because it was one of the earliest activities that happened after the Swadeshi boycott. Okay, so from 1905 till the year of 1916, one of the earliest and the mass based activity, it was the home rule activity. That is why the people, they are going to increasingly participate in this particular activity. Okay, and it was based on the Irish Home Rule League. Now here, simultaneous to this, I just want to mention this one thing to you also. Okay, at this point of time only, when in 1916 all of these things were happening, Gandhi, okay, Gandhiji, he had come in India in the January 1915 itself. Okay, so when Gandhiji was there in India, he was already looking at the scenario that what is going to be the issues that are being faced in the political realm. And at that point of time, when the home rule movement was started, Gandhiji, okay, he is not going to support. Okay, Gandhiji, he did not support the home rule movement. Okay, so Gandhiji was there in India at that point of time, and Gandhiji, he is not going to support the home rule movement. And the reason for not supporting the home rule movement, it was generally that Gandhiji believed that when the British, they were fighting the World War I for their existence, at that point of time, if we are starting a mass movement within the country, that could divert the attention of the British towards the events that are happening in the country. And because of that diverted attention, okay, of the British, if they lost the war, it would be a greater chaos. So that is why Gandhiji found it unethical, okay, in order to start a movement which could divide the attention of the British or deviate the British attention from the war. So that was the idea that we understand here. Okay, so Gandhiji, he did not support the home rule movement, so that is there. Now, the question is, the next aspect is, what were the factors that led to the rise of Home Rule League movement? So this is something that we have already understood here. Okay, this is something that we have already understood. Means I have generally explained it up to you in a very detailed manner. Okay, that why did the Home Rule League movement start? So the first aspect that we see is that it is going to be, there was a need was being felt for a popular pressure to attain concessions. What does the statement mean? It means that prior to 1915, okay, there the Congress was in shambles and there was not much of political activity, but moderates were there, right? Only the extremists were in jail, the extremists were suppressed, but the moderates were not suppressed. The moderates were yet there, the Congress was yet there. So the moderates, even prior to 1915, the moderates are also going to demand some of the things from the Britishers. Okay. So when the moderates are going to be demanding some of the things from the Britishers, will the Britishers fulfill it? Obviously not. The Britishers